Okay, Bismillah. Okay folks, welcome back. We're doing some further practice questions on Pythagoras theorem. We've got some previous videos where we're looking at the original formula a squared equals b squared plus c squared for a right angle triangle. And the simplest type of question we could be asked in that when we're working on the hypotenuse a and the opposite square is square root. That's one formula we've used. I want to concentrate on this particular video on when we're working at one of the shorter sides. So we have to use the variation of this original formula where we've got to work out, for example, one of the short sides b. So we have to work out b, and we've got this formula by. So b squared add c squared. So the opposite of adding c squared is minus c squared. So we move the last action first, then the opposite squaring is square root. So that's where this formula came from. This formula is basically by rearranging this original one to work out one of the shorter sides. So we've got two questions here in where we've been given, first of all, the hypotenuse. We're not working at the hypotenuse, we've been given the hypotenuse and one of the other shorter sides, and we've got to work out the remaining shorter side. So let's have a look at these two questions. Okay, so right, here we go. So we're looking at right angle triangle question number 1. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to label my diagram. Opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, which we are going to call A. And I'm going to call the missing length B. That could already be labeled as a C or a D. Just relabel it as a B and give the answer back as an original letter. Because we're going to make these letters suit our formula. Okay? So if that's B, that one has to be C. So first we'll label the diagram. A has to be the longest side opposite right angle. B and C can be in any order. But I'm going to call my missing length B. That's what I need to work out. So I'm going to work out one of the shorter lengths. So looking at our original formula, a squared equals b squared plus c squared. We have two variations of that. One is where we have to move the squared over to give us the actual value of a, which is this one, the simpler type of this equation we've been using to work out the hypotenuse. We're going to be looking at this one here. B equals a squared minus c squared. So we're going to start with that first. Okay, now let's put the values in. So this is our rule. So a is 10 squared, minus c squared, c is 4 squared, is equal to b. If you want to here, you can put the question mark back in, because now we know what we're talking about. What we need to do now is use the calculator. So square root first of all, 10 squared minus 4 squared equals 2 root 21. Press SD for 9.165. Okay, now we need to round this question. Normally in the examination they ask you to do one decimal place. So here's my first decimal place. I need to look at the next number, which is called our decider. If that is 5 or more, we round up. It's a 6, so yes, we round up by adding 1. So 1 add 1 is 2. And you stop there. This is called our last digit. That's the decider. So we don't have any more digits after that position. So the answer for this one here, the B, the height of this triangle is 9.2 centimeters. Okay, let's look at this next question over here. So what we're going to do first of all, we have a height of 8, we have the hypotenuse 9, and the base we've got to work out over here. So I'm going to label the diagram first. Opposite the right angle is the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, which is always, in accordance to this formula, is the A value. So we have the A value here. Now, the other two sides, the two shorter sides, we can label them in any order, B and C. I'm going to call the one I'm looking for as B. I'm going to call this one C. So now, here's our original formula. Here's the variation we've got to work out B, and we have to rearrange everything. So that gives us that formula here. So I'm going to start with that again. B is equal to a squared minus c squared, square rooted. That's our rule. So B is equal to that. Now let's put the values in there and work it out. So my A value is the hypotenuse. Remember, A's hypotenuse is 9. So 9 squared minus the C squared, which is 8 squared. Now remember, the B can be replaced by whatever letter they've given you. In our case, it's a question mark. So get our calculators. Press the square root button on 9 squared minus 8 squared root 17, 4.123. Okay, now again we have to round this number to one decimal place. Here's the first decimal place. Call this the last digit. We're going to stop there. The next one, we're going to call this the decider digit. That decides whether we write it up or leave it alone. If it's less than 5, we leave it alone. So this is less than 5, so you're going to leave that alone. So the final answer is going to be, okay, sorry about that, folks. The final answer is going to be 4.1 centimeters. Okay, folks, I hope these questions, these two particular questions here, have helped in terms of giving a bit of extra preparation and doing those kind of questions where we've been given the hypotenuse. We've got to work out one of the shorter sides using the minus part of the equation. Okay, folks, please, for those of you students who have come for the GCSE class, I hope this helps you with your homework. Please make sure you complete your homework, and also to help my students in school. Okay, folks, so Mr. Ahmed and Ahmed, please focus on your work for your homework and try well. And Halima. Assalamu alaikum.